Always end up doing that. Okay. We are, well, live, I think. Last pass. Oh, Google sending me confirmation codes. Okay, am I not live? YouTube. Okay, I am live. Nobody's in here yet, and OBS is not happy. So, I could probably just get started. Might be worth putting some posts on Discord, actually. Cool. YouTube Studio. OBS doesn't give me a link to the stream, which is the problem. So I've always got to go onto Google and YouTube and then find it in there. Cool. Do that one. That should be okay. And then canvas, optimize. Where we go from there? Okay, so pretty much all I'm doing is I'm going to spend a little bit of time today going through references and setting up a mood board, so we've got an actual plan that we're going to try and tackle. So we want a trim sheet. We're going to have tiling textures. So max resolution. It's going to be 2048 by 2048 because that's the maximum resolution that the Quest 3 can handle. Or at least it was the last time I checked. Then we've got trim sheets as well. It's going to be 2048. So if we make that a 200 by 200 plane, when we come to plan it, it should be fine. Cool. Do that. I just realized I'm really bright on the camera for some reason. So I do apologize if it's just blowing out. So maximum resolution 2048 by 2048, trim sheet 200 by 200. What I'm probably going to do is have a normal map as well. So maps, we want use or brackets base color. And then we're also going to want a normal map. Or commonly known as a bump map. Cool. Use. I don't know why the F's are different sizes. What? That's a bit annoying. Square Peg, hello. Good to see you again. Technical details, max resolution 2048 by 2048. It's texture sizes. Trim sheet's going to be 200 by 200 centimeter plane with 2048 by 2048 textile density. Maps, we're going to need diffuse and normal map. I don't think we need AO. I think it's an extra channel that we don't need. We could probably put that into the textures. Maybe get away with it there. We want as low poly count as possible. So we need to keep that in mind. Might do a custom mask if we get that far. We might not need to. I think that might be it for technical details at the minute. I'll actually get the reference material, blockout, and then trim sheet. I'm going to do some redesigning of the models that we've got so far in the project as well, which will be a good thing to do. But we're also going to gather some images now. There we go. I always forget how to change the scale of this. There we go. And how to use it. Okay, we've got trim sheet references, and then we're going to have environment reference. What we want is another note. Modular reference. So I might have to modify this around a little bit, but we want to see if we can get some examples of modular environments for castles, like large stuff. Because I've got a feeling I might have broke it down a little bit too much yesterday when I was doing the stream. So the idea is to make some bigger elements that we can reuse. And then that should also cut down on poly count because we don't have an extra faces where we don't need them. And we can have a little bit more info as well. I'll just search modular 3D castles. So we got some ideas of this here. That's a good one. See, because going up a scale might be easier for us, especially with the size of a castle and how big it normally is. Would probably be a little bit better and easier to work with also. This one. That's cool. See, this was on the lines of what I was originally thinking of doing, but I think for mobile, it's way too complex. We would have to break it down a lot more just to optimize it. So I think that what we're going to do is we're going to use platform restrictions to determine the direction that we go in, which I think would work pretty well. Oh, my nose. Hopefully the stream's doing all right. Okay, I don't know how many people we got viewing. I think we got a couple, so it's not too bad. See, that's a decent size. They must have done 2x4. Which does make sense. Let's put you in that one there. So I was get curious about pieces like this, whether they have custom meshes to go over the top as well. So we're just not seeing it here. It's like a curved roof that goes on there, which I imagine would be a different part. I don't want to go this detail just yet, but there's nothing stopping us from actually doing that later on. We just have to be smart about it. I like how that's like built into the side of it. I don't even think that's 3D. I think that's just an actual model. Uh, Castle on the side of a mountain. I really like the idea of having a bridge to like walk through the fog and then you see it kind of just appear in front of you. I think that'd be pretty wicked. Chipko, hello. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you again. We need a design. we need to come up with a design for the castle that we want to use to model. That's awesome. Cool, so how's everybody doing? It's Friday morning. Driller, what's this environment for particularly? Just for fun? We're just going to build an environment for fun. We're going to put it into VR and then we'll have a walk through it. Just want to chill out and not do any coding for a little bit. So we're going to do some planning. I like that. I like that style, like the pointed roofs, the tiles and stuff. Tura's Castle. Cool. Good to be here again. Have a day off, so um, a bit more free to watch in the background. Nice. It's Friday afternoon now. Oh my God, it is. It's oh God. It's because I stayed up to watch the Game Awards last night. I was up to like 5 in the morning. So I'm actually absolutely just knackered. See, I want to do like a mix between castle and wood, like concrete and wood, but it doesn't really go together. It does on the roofs and stuff, but on the windows are normally inset, so you don't have them there. So it's the same picture, isn't it? Um, I woke up since 4 a.m. yesterday after the Christmas party, so I couldn't survive long enough to watch the Game Awards. To be fair, what I don't think it was that great. It was all right, and there was a couple of things, but overall, I don't think it was worth the 3.5 hours. I was pretty much just watching it to see if Steam were going to announce a new headset. That's all it was. But nope, nothing happened. Um, let's check ArtStation. There's always some cool concept art on here. Mm. I like that style with the wood on the top. That's what I was running Half-Life 3. Yeah, it was. Yeah, a lot of people were wondering if Half-Life 3 was going to be announced, but there was just nothing. Um, there was one game that looked like a Lyra, the Epic Games Lyra template that was just rejigged. Like, I'm pretty sure it was just the Epic Games multiplayer Lyra template, and then a studio's taken it and built a game into it. It looked exactly like it. I made a note. What was it called? Ah, I think I put it in the Discord channel. Topic. Splitgate. I'm pretty sure the Splitgate trailer looked like the Lyra template. Um, let's open it up. Sandro, hello. Welcome to the stream. But everything about it just screams Lyra. No, we want Splitgate 2. Where is it? It shows gameplay at one point. Pretty sure. But here, with the doorways and everything else, it just feels really, like, Epic Gamesy. I don't know how to describe it. Don't forget to like the stream, the algorithm will love you for it. I always forget to ask people to do it. That and subscribe. But yeah, just something about it. The way things were moving and the character designs and everything else. It just feels very Epic Mannequin with Lyra environment backgrounds. And then there was I'm pretty sure there was a gameplay. Gameplay trailer? It just makes me think of the Lyra template. I don't know how else to describe it. Whereas it was a bit weird. Mannequin and the doors. Yeah, mannequin, the doors, the environment. Like this was the interior that made me think of it. Like the whole, like the doorway stuff. Even the lighting. It's definitely Epic Games. And then you've got the mannequins. The rifle looks like the Lyra starter rifle to a point, just redesigned slightly. And like this part, this bit, the over top bit, reminds me of the old demo. I don't know what it was called. Let's see if I can look it up. I'm pretty sure it should be under the Learn tab if there is something on here. Library, Fab. Where's the Learn tab? Have they moved it or something? I'm pretty sure we used to have a tab at the top. There's like Learn. Project Titan. It's like a really old template. Can we get to it through this? Education tutorials. So we've got the Lyra starter template. And then, where is it? They've got a larger environment. It might be the blueprints one. No, there's a bigger environment that Epic have where it goes outside as though you're on top of a city. But I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. Might not be using it in here. Really annoying. Is there a templates Unreal Engine? Game templates. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. Epic Games. I can see it in my head, but I just can't remember the name of it. Um, there's got to be a screenshot in here somewhere. Maybe not. Okay, I'll leave it. Either way, it looks a hell of a lot like the Lyra template, just the way that it was designed. Like even the way the characters move looks like they were using that system to do it, which is just feels weird. I'm positive that is an Unreal environment. This is like a city. You come out to it, and there's like a massive overhead environment with the city in the background. Um, Edit games rooftop environment. I think I spelled that really wrong, but oh, it's gonna bug me. Epic Games. Oh, it's gonna really, really bug me. You spell environment wrong. Um, why is it so difficult to find? Am I just searching everything that is not related to it? It used to be used as like a multiplayer demo, I think. Um, Unreal Engine 4. Oh my god, this is gonna suck. Unreal Engine 4 demo level. It's got like the grassy patches and then it overlooks the city as you go out to the edge. Chipco, is it a big studio? I'm not entirely sure, but they've got a second. This is their second game. Concentrating on the gameplay and less on design graphics on the ground end. Like, I totally get that. Like, save time where you can, but it just looked really similar. Like, uncannily, if that's a word. But I just can't remember the name. That's it. That's the one. This level here. What's the map called? To tell you, shoot a game example. Okay, it might not be exactly like that, but yeah, it's a bit off. They've definitely done some stuff. I say done some stuff. They've designed a full new level, but it really heavily reminded me of this map. Like the whole running out, and then you got the wooden floors and the design on the top of the roof, which is coming over the top through the archways. It just felt very similar. And then you got the center part with the portal in it, which I assume you come down through in their game. It just felt very, very lifted from it. But it's totally like Epic Games Unreal Engine build. Like that main character just looks like Manny just reskinned with the Lyra rifle. I can't unsee it. I think that's the problem. I just can't unsee it. Galvanic, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. I'm tired, but I'm doing good. Stayed up for the Game Awards, which is what we were just talking about. Need to gather some reference material. Ricardo, hello. I have a question about doing a roof with shingles. I have to import it on UE5, the best to efficiency VR. I have to combine all and bring the UE or UE projectors. It's going to depend on what type of VR you're doing. If you're doing VR, it shouldn't really be individual shingles unless you're actually walking on the roof, and even then, it should be a baked texture. It shouldn't be individual shingles. You need to save resources and poly count where you can, and especially in VR, it's crucial. So you need to kind of optimize what you've got. I imagine Assassin's Creed VR be the best example because you run on rooftops. But my guess is that they've got it smoothed out. So they've only got a little bit of geometry on the top, and then it comes down a little bit just to add the effect that there's geometry there, and then it's just a plane. Let's see if we can find some gameplay. It'll be a bit more obvious. But you've also got to take into account if it's a roof, do you actually need the roof at all? Like if you can't see it, do you need it? Let's look at this one. Do they actually run on a rooftop? Ricardo, but with nanite. It again depends whether you're doing mobile VR or desktop VR. But even so, I still wouldn't do it. So that's a good example there. Where was it? Oh, I couldn't have got a better frame. Wait for it. Like there, you can see exactly how they've done it. Like that's pretty much as far as you should go for a rooftop. Nobody cares about roof tiles, and I don't really think you should be using nanite for VR anyway. Like it does work, but it's expensive on performance, and it also doesn't work on mobile VR. So if that's your target audience, you're gonna be screwed. But it should just be a texture with basically like a cutout to add the effect. So you see it's pretty detailed for a rooftop, but it's just the textures. It's an ArcViz project. Even so with ArcViz, the client never looks at the fucking roof. I've been there, done that. The client doesn't look at a rooftop. Unless you're doing like a full breakdown and you're saying this is a single roof tile. Look at this single roof tile. It's just too much. There's some details that they don't need. It's why I kind of stopped working with ArcViz. Because it's just obscene. But it's literally about being smart with what you've got. If your client in an ArcViz project is on the floor and they're looking up at the roof, the only geometry you really need is on the edge of that roof. You don't need anything actually on the roof because they're not going to get up there to see it. I was thinking on Simply Gone merge mesh. I haven't used Simply Gone. I just normally build it myself in like Blender or Max or whatever. But it's going to depend on the project as well. But typically, I just delete as much as I can. Nothing worse than getting a CAD file or something like that from a client and it's absolutely packed. Because Bakes UVs all in one. Yeah, but if you're doing ArcViz, do you really need UVs? Well, you need the UVs, obviously, but if you're doing ArcViz, you don't need to bake your lighting anymore, especially if you're doing desktop. You just use dynamic, so you've just got to take that into account and just save time where it is. The client's not going to care if you bake down your models into a texture. They just want to see typically the exterior and the interior, and then just avoid everything else. This is cool. Just for align textures horizontal or vertical. Not for light. Whatever program you're using, if it's typically come from a CAD software, should be fine with UV directions. You shouldn't have to worry about it. And if you do, just make a world coordinate texture and then just slap it on. That's what we used to do. Because with a CAD file or an ArcViz project, you do not have time to unwrap models. Like, you simply don't have the time because the deadlines are so short. It's throw it into Unreal, throw the textures on it, and then see how it is. It's why in this project that we did yesterday, the one that we started, modular castles. There we go. Let me load this up. I'll show you what I did. Because with our biz, deadlines are short. The client's always going to complain about something. They don't know the technical details of what you can and can't do in an engine with the CAD models anyway. So you've just got to kind of roll with it. Like, I got to the point where most of my job was just telling people what they can't do. But for ArcViz, you can do something like this for textures. So you don't need to care about the textures. It's typically paint or metal or some kind of world line. So as long as a surface is straight, what you can do is you can create a world line material. So when you place it on the object, no matter where the mesh is, it's always on the model. And then it just doesn't really care whereabouts it is. You going back? By the way, we worked on the castle today. We are. We're going to do some more. And I'm also going to redesign a lot of it. But yeah. By the way, I got my first client working a long time. Congrats. Congrats. Now you just got to put up with doing the client work when you want to go back to doing your own thing. I want to build my game, but I've got to do this instead. It's always the worst part. Need to merge two plugins together. I'm so confused at the moment. Need to merge two plugins. Why do you need to merge them? I just keep them together. Just keep them separate. That just sounds like a headache waiting to happen. Ricardo, well, so I've already did the entire roof shingles, so do you recommend bake in low poly or decimate it? Um, I'd bake it into a low poly if you've gone that far. Baking it to low poly would be better, but there's no difference from using just uh, like a Quixel Mega Scans texture. So just go into here and then it changes so much. Where is it? Let me load it up. So slow again. What's happening? Why is it just stuck loading? Is Fab bust or is it my internet? Nope. I think it's Fab being slow. But yeah, you can just get a texture of rooftop game, but I need to do this as well. I get that. Sorry, it's like two templates with a subdivided plugin. And the project I got was a mess today. It took me the whole day to get most of the blueprints working in. See, that shouldn't be on you to get the blueprints working. It should be on the client. They should have a build that's up and running, and then they just send you what works. Unless it's because they broke it and then they need you to fix it. Yeah. But Ricardo, you just gotta like if I can find something. I can't remember if I paid me GoDaddy. This is a really old portfolio, by the way. Like really old. My internet's just slow. Signature lodge is probably a good one to do. Disconnecting, reconnecting, OBS reconnected. Cool, there might be a little bit of a stutter, but I should be back. But yeah, so this was an Argos project that I did years ago. And we didn't even bother with the roof. Like we've got the outside, but you could never get up there, so you didn't have to worry about it. But Ricardo, Quicksilver roof tiles. No, you just want the texture. You don't need individual roof tiles for an ArcViz project. You just need a texture of it to put on there. If you're going for like full individual roof tiles, then you've got the wrong priorities for a project. But I see it a lot with beginners getting into ArcViz, wanting to do like the max detail that you need. But at the end of the day, the client just cares what's inside the house and if they can actually tell what's going on with it. Like when you look at massive projects, like ArcViz projects through Epic, they've been done for portfolios, basically. They've had like 6 months put into it to then build it up. Like we worked on this project, so somebody else built the environment to begin with, and then I was responsible for all the UE stuff side of it. But this project was like 6 months long because the client just kept changing walls and moving things around, and they wanted like updated stuff, which is why it looks like kind of low poly in some areas, like the bushes and that, but then not detailed in others, is because it was such a rolling environment. So you just got to keep that in mind as well, that things do change in ArcViz, walls move and projects change. So going over the top on detail for stuff like that is just way too much. Like this one. This one was pretty good because we had full control over it. So we built the whole environment, or one of the guys did, Victor. He built it and I brought it into Unreal, where we could then walk around it in VR. So it's a case of just prioritizing where the detail is. Like you look at the detail on top of the boat, it doesn't even have glass in the roof because you just didn't look up. You didn't need to, and it didn't care if there was no glass there. So all the detail was on the back of the boat and then on the interior furniture. So you kind of focus the detail of where the eye's going to go, and then you can use it a lot easier. This should play. There we go. Ricardo, you did on Max or UE? We did this all in Blender and Unreal Engine. So this was all built with, this was Unreal Engine 4, and I think back at the time, I don't think I kept track of it, but it would have been like Unreal Engine like 5 years ago now. Been a long time. So a really old version of Unreal. But yeah, you just, like if you look in here, there isn't even shadows on the bottom of the boat, like underneath here. There's no bolts on these racks. Like the client just doesn't care. You just want the idea, the generalization of what's going on in that environment to get the information across. Just because time schedules are so tight. So you just got to keep that in mind when you're doing it as well. Like we had the nighttime stuff because they wanted to see lighting. So we did a big focus on the lighting at the time. I think this was running on a 10, an RTX 10 something, RTX 1080 or something like that. So it was a long time ago. Like the machine was struggling with it. But yeah, like even like this bit here, so this panel behind these marble things to change the colors, that was just a texture. That's a normal map, and then this was just baked into it. So that doesn't open, you can't get in there. But it was just like a little, this is what we've got, and then what you can do with it. So you say 3 to 6 months, it's okay for a project. No, it's gonna entirely depend on the client. We had some clients that would approach us being like, we need this done in 2 weeks. Like this is the CAD model we've got. We brought it out of Rhino, and then we want this in Unreal Engine so we can walk around it with textures in like 2 weeks. Because after that 2 weeks, it's going to change, and they only need it for like a split-second demo. But the problem is now with ArcViz, most companies are doing it in-house. They pick some poor sod who doesn't know how to use Unreal Engine, and then they just make them do it. Like I do tutoring sessions through Patreon and all that kind of stuff, and then a lot of it is pretty much helping ArcViz people do their stuff. They've just been given a random job. Or ArcViz students is a common one as well. Since now they're now trying to get into it. Ricardo, 2 weeks. This didn't take 2 weeks. This took a lot longer because we built the model ourselves. But if you're working with a client, they should ideally have the CAD or Rhino stuff set up, so you can then bring that into Unreal Engine faster, and then you just have to set up the environments. But yeah, 50% money before start. Yeah, depending on the size of the project, it could be either 25% or 50% and then 25. It depends on your schedule and how you line it up. Every client's going to be different. But you typically want at least half up front. Unless it's a really big project and you can do like 25%, and then you can do it based on milestones. But in most cases, time is just not available. So like here, if you look at the top, the roof retracts back, and we don't have any information on the inside of the roof. So when you press it, it just kind of slides back into the mesh, because we didn't have to go that far into the detail of like what's in there. Like, you don't have to deal with hydraulics or like rubber seals or anything like that. But it also depends on the client and everything else. Like you just can't do it. This was all done in VR. So this was done on a HTC Vive. So all the interaction stuff and all the VR elements, lighting, pretty much everything but the model, apart from a couple of tweaks, was done by me. I even built the water shader. I was so happy with that. I don't know if I can see it. But I built the water shader at the time, and it's got like rolling waves and everything in it. I was so pleased with it. I'll never do it again. It's a bloody nightmare. But yeah, we had it so you could actually look in the water and then see below it because there was lights underneath the boat. There they go. But yeah. But it's really very heavy dependent on the client and what you're going with. This one I built in a week. I built this one in a week, so it's pretty low. But there's a place up in London that was going to do a temporary show, like use cargo containers to do. They were going to take over an area, do cargo containers temporarily to turn it into shopping stores. So I built everything in here apart from the clothing and the jewelry from scratch in like a week, which was a really fun one. Ricardo a week. Yeah. I've got a background in game art, that's what you need to remember. So I've got a background in game art and then the ability to tell clients no. That bit doesn't scare me anymore. So like it's really bad. Like this store has nothing in it, but we focused on the exterior and scale. So that's mainly what it was. Exterior, scale, and lighting. So they could get an idea of what was going on and where things could be placed. But yeah, it's like the lights are bad. Like the whole thing is not that great. But when you take into account like how long it took to build, it's pretty good. I built this one. I was really pleased with this one. I love this one. I built this for. So I was working for one polygon at the time. So this is pretty much my one polygon portfolio. So out of uni, I got a job here. And this one was, we got approached by Plymouth University to rebuild a geology department. So I had to build this whole thing. Everything you see in here, I built, apart from these meshes on the side, which are photogrammetry scans. I think I built the entire room in 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks plus the modeling, and then we had a bit longer so I could do all the blueprints and coding for it. So it's got videos, overlays, uh, baked lighting was all in there. It's in Plymouth, but it's a picture, it's a skyline from London. So it's a London high-res skyline, just so we didn't have to model anything outside of the window. So it's just a picture. Um, these are photogrammetry scans of items that they found in the Atacama Desert, if I remember correctly. And we did it so when you pressed it, you actually went to the desert. So I rebuilt this with, they had a video recording from a DJI drone, and then I took the video and then I converted it to a height map. I stitched it all together, converted it into a height map, so I got a rough layout of the terrain, and then we did it so you could actually go there and pick up the items where they were physically found in the real world. So I've done quite a bit. This is the stuff I don't really show off. So I give you just the planes for a department or house. What's a reasonable time? I couldn't tell you without seeing it. Like everything's going to be different. It's going to be on the square footage as well. It's going to be on square footage. It's going to be on the detail of props, detail of models in there, how detailed the client wants it to be. Like I can't really give you that information to be fair. It's going to be entirely on your skill set. But you gotta remember I've been doing this for quite a while, especially the modeling side of it, so it was a lot easier to do. So when it comes to the coding at this point, the coding took me longer to do than the environments. But it's okay, 6 months. Again, some clients might not like that. 6 months is a long time, and a lot of things change in 6 months. For an ArcViz project, by the time you say go, we're going to do this. By the time it comes to 6 months down the line, they might find out that specific support structures don't work, and then they go from there. So they change all the walls, and then by the time you give them the project, it's completely wrong, and that the architect has basically redesigned the whole thing. So the only time that's really good to get a solid model from an architect is once all the plans have been finalized. And even then, they might not need them because they can just do 2D renders. We had a big challenge getting companies to, like large ArcViz companies, to want to change over because they were kind of stuck in their old ways but also the timings that we could give them wasn't fast enough for what they needed. Like this stuff really isn't easy at all, and that's part of the challenge. Is unless you're inside of that company, that ArcViz house, and you know exactly what's going on through daily meetings, it's going to be really difficult for you to keep up with it. But because they think it's easy, yeah, it's shocking how many people think this is really easy to do, and they just see it and then they go, okay, we need this in like a couple of weeks, or if you're lucky, a couple of months. But it's going to entirely depend on you and what you can get done. Also, performance of the hardware. So if the client doesn't take into account hardware, you've got to make sure it runs on their stuff. You've got to make sure that their budget accounts for in-house hardware, such as VR headsets, computers that can render it. Just because they're using NVIDIA graphics cards for ArcViz doesn't mean it runs well in VR. Like different drivers do different things. So you've got to keep that in mind as well. Oh god, I'm choking. Choking on Starburst. This one, I'm pretty sure I did this one in a couple of weeks as well. So this was a fun project. We didn't have this for a client. This was just, we've got a couple of weeks to kill. Or a week. Might have been a week, which is why it's like there's so many issues with it. But just needed something to do. So sat down and built this. The props are all off the Epic Games Marketplace or Fab. No, SketchUp, sorry. But the whole environment build is from me. So I built the whole environment. And then I don't think I built the units. But I did all the wiring on the walls. Modeled all of that in. The backlighting, everything else in here. So pretty much everything but props. This was about a week, which is why it's so crap. I just realized I'm supposed to be doing a video on a castle, but I've got a feeling this is probably going to be helpful for people anyway. But it's one of those things that is just kind of up in the air. That's a high level. I could build this environment in like a day now. Like building something like this is really simple to do. The walls are just planes that I've got cut out meshes. This wall's a plane, there's no detail in it apart from normal maps. This is a column that's just been sliced off the top with chamfered edges. And then we've got the roof beams, which is literally just wooden bars, wooden cubes, kind of stretched into it. And then they've just been UV'd globally, so you can then get away with it. Because there's a way you can unwrap ArcViz projects in one go for entire buildings, and you don't have to worry about anything to do with it. But you might have to wait for a video for that one. I'll do a video and I'll share it. Because I don't really have a model. I want to redo this. So this is my final year university project. Back when I was just starting to learn Unreal Engine. I'd done it like 6 months, but I built everything from scratch at the time, so it's really shit. But I kind of want to redesign the whole thing now. Damn, that's Lumen. No, Lumen didn't exist at this point. This entire portfolio is about 6 years old. Lumen and Nanite did not exist. This was all baked or dynamic lighting. We didn't even use GPU light mass because it caused more issues than we could solve. But I cannot stress enough, none of this is light mass. This is all baked or dynamic lighting or a mix. It's why I don't really touch Lumen at the minute. It's because I don't think the performance you get from it is worth doing. And this one, I think I built on stream. I think I started doing something like this on stream, which is why there's only one image of it. But this is for mobile, so this whole thing was built with one texture. That's impressive. All baked. Yeah, everything's baked. This was I did this one for a job interview for a couple of things. They wanted things modeled, so build some products. It's like IKEA furniture and shelves and units and stuff and bathtubs. But modeled these from scratch. And then that was a Blender render, I think. Built this for a light, which was a bit of a weird one. That's impressive, all baked. As long as your light maps are fine, then you can do the whole thing. Like these two are both baked apart from the desk lamps. So the interior was baked, if I remember, on the yacht, and then we had a dynamic light for the sky because we were using Ultra Dynamic Sky plugin to get the lighting come through for it. But the UpGeo one was entirely baked lighting, which is why the rocks basically on the side barely cast any shadow. But yeah, this is my old portfolio. But hopefully that helped answer a couple of things about Unreal and maybe myself. This was Substance Designer. I did this in Substance Designer back in the day. So Substance Designer practice. These are all textures I made, so they're pretty crap at this point. But they weren't too bad for the time. By trying to learn from YouTube and then just make some stuff. So these are all procedural materials. Super simple, but just designed pretty well. I am proud of my boulders though. My Unreal Engine rocks. Modeled and then textured. Which I thought came out looking pretty good. I got called the rock guy in college because I just kept making boulders and rocks. This was a modular cave one that I built really early on, which was like just a pack of different kind of rocks based on texture height information, and then it got some splines so you could put them all together, and then you could build like a full kind of like a Skyrim dungeon pack kind of thing. But I never really went anywhere with it. Like I said, it's an old portfolio. Simply said in the node graphs of spaghetti. I can read node graphs better than I can read normal code. I think that's the catch. Cool. But yeah, let's get back to some castle stuff. I can always answer questions while I'm doing this as well. I definitely need to increase the scale of the assets. I think I might have went too small for the modular element of it yesterday. I think we need to go bigger. We've got a style in mind. We've got a size in mind. We can use those as a reference. So I think the case is going to be to just build something a lot bigger. Cool. See, I wish I had the time to do stuff like this. Like like really detailed things. Dracula. See, this is what I'm thinking of doing. So on this screenshot here, they have it broken up so it's really large, like just the towers, and then doing it that way. Cool. All right. Not the best board, but we can use that as a start. I'm going to pop that onto my other monitor. And then we can open Blender. We've got the project here. What I'm thinking of doing is merging all of these to be one block that we can then model in, or at least just the floors. So we cut it across and then we do it that way. I think it might actually be easier to do. So we know that we've got a cube which is going to be, what was the scale? It's 8 by 8, isn't it? So 8 by 8, so 8, 16, 20, is that right? 32? Christ, my math is so bad. How did I get anywhere? 24. That's what I was after. So we do 24 by 24, and it's going to be the first floor. So cube 24 by 24 by 8. Ricardo, 8 times 40, 32. I'm not too sure what you mean. Why did that not snap? But you'll package this game for Android. It's not going to be a full game, but yeah, you can package the environment for Android. It's just a normal environment. So we know the castle is going to be roughly this size. 8 times 3 is 24. Yeah. I'm dyslexic, man. My math is so bad. You'd be, oh, it's embarrassing. That's why I hate doing math on stream, even when it's blueprints. It takes me so long to figure out. So because of the scale, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like this. So we got 8 by 8. Don't know why my grid's off. Is it, did I change? I changed it, didn't I? There we go. So we're on the grid. And now we can actually model this to have indented content. So by that I mean like windows and doors. So this could be a floor with the door in it, or I could do that separately. So I could do underscore 24 by 24 by 8. And then we could take like the corners. And let's do, oh, still trying to get used to Blender after all these years. Make sure I haven't got an extra slide. Okay. Control P, 0.01. Do that, and then what I can do now is smooth that out a little bit so we don't have a really sharp edge. Why does it do this? Oh, it's because I'm in modeling mode, isn't it? Wait. Edit mode? Why don't I get that list? I like just getting the drop down and then being able to see what I can do. Weighted normals. Cool. Nice beveled edge. Go from there. Okay, I see you use just planes. For this example, I am. For this example, it's just planes because it's going to be low poly. And then we can also add some grids in here if we need to modify it up. But it's also extremely large. So the idea is that we can take this and then snap it up to build up a castle. And then you can have different meshes from that. So we basically have the bottom floor and then the top floor or the next floor. So this could be, it's going to be based on scale. I'm looking at the photos and I'm just getting confused on how big we want it. So we know that we've got this 1, 2, 3. So 3 up is fine. Although I am trying to figure out whether I've done it too wide. I think it's going to be fine. We'll do it like this. And then what I want to do is remember how to do mirroring in Blender. Mirror on the Y. Did it do anything? Man, no, still not used to these. I do miss Macs sometimes. Okay, art style. What are we going for? Either way, we need some inset windows. So what we could do is, this is going to be a room. It's going to be quite a large room, so we'd have that split up. So maybe I could do something like that. And then we could split this. I can fix up topology afterwards. And then I'm thinking should have split this one. Oh, I did. Okay, let me just plan this in my head because I'm winging it. It's never good to wing it. Windows are going to be quite small because this is 8 meters tall. So do it about there. Bring it down a bit. Sorry, Cyber, won't be able to chat much. You don't have to apologize for not being able to chat. That's all good. I'm just making it up as I go anyway. Something like that. Just fine. Could curve it. I'm still just doing blockout phase at this point, so we don't have to worry about anything overall. What I might do is just do a loop there actually. Bring it up. There you go. Shade flax because my weight normals. You can do it. I just forget which one's which. Let's just take that one off. So that's not too bad. And then you think that we snap it, so Shift E. we do some different designs on the sides, we can get different designs going up, which should work pretty well. I am worried that I've done the scaling a bit off, like it's a bit too big. But I think for now it should be fine. Okay, we're going to do that. You should have centered those up. Floor is going to be down here. If we had one, it would be in the center. So it might actually work fine. Let's clean up topology, and then I can actually just duplicate these windows around, which will also work. So just a heads up, I do have a meeting at some point today, but it should only be about 15 minutes. So I'm just going to pause the stream while I'm doing it, and then we can come back into it. Merge last. Cool. So edge. That was pretty well. I'm not gonna sort this bit out just yet because I want to do some couple of things with it. Gotta watch the Witcher 4 trailer. It looks awesome. I've never played Witcher 3, to be fair. I couldn't really be bothered about it. I did watch it at the Game Awards last night, but I don't know. Just, I don't know, it looked a little bit boring. I don't know what stood out differently than the other games. Okay, I could do that and then have a doorway in it. You imagine it that way. Well, you probably wouldn't. Okay, and I want to mirror this onto the other side, so I need to figure out how to do that again. Because I just tried the mirror tool and it didn't do nothing. Okay. Faces. Why am I not getting the normal one? Cool. That should be fine. And then, oh, I should have just kept that down here. I'm doing stupid mistakes. Leave the side. Done. Let me undo those edits. Cool, because if we undo those edits, I can keep the lines, and I know that we had them split up like so. Do it that way. And then what I can do now is delete this bit. Still got the mirror on so we can see it. That's fine. I want to delete that bit. Actually, no, we'll do different design on each side. I can't remember what settings I used for these ones, which is the problem. So I'll just have to line them up a bit. Do a little bit of manual work, should be okay. The text. Oh, I'm winging it and it's starting to show. Oh. 180. There we go. I want this vertex to snap there. Although that could work. Maybe too many. Actually, I might just do the 2 and then change it around. L. Let's do it that way. I'm going to apply the modifier if I can remember how. Aha, I can't do that because I need to add a loop there. Distance. Should bridge edge. There we go. Galvanic, dumb question, sir. For merging these two templated. I started with merging the inputs. What will your rank start off with for these merging these? I honestly have no clue, mate. Like, without seeing the project and knowing what it is you're trying to merge, I've got no idea where you would even start. Like, I can't even wrap my head around whereabouts you would start with merging a project. The only time I've got a project which needed merging is when, if we go back to ArcViz, when someone gets a project, they start working on it, and then they send you an updated one later on, and it's a case of typically merging environments. But merging projects with different inputs and then logic, you're basically just taking one project which is further along and then rebuilding the other project inside of it. That's how I'd see that. But yeah, that's pretty much in my head how I'm thinking that you're going about it. These two temps are first-person shooter templates. Have they got anything else in them? Just out of curiosity. Darth Jandis, say all if you haven't already, please give a like. Thank you. I always forget to do that. Okay, I need to do this, apply this mirror, and then just delete one of these. I might actually mirror this one. Oh, I can't mirror it on that side because it's going to mess these windows up. Algren, hey dude, thanks for your content. You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Very similar, yeah, a lot of stuff. ton. It sounds like a project that I would turn down, to be honest. Yeah, I typically ask to see the files before I start anything. Like if I get the files, I ask them to send them over. If I need to sign a contract, I'll sign a contract. That's fine. I get an NDA or anything. But if they send them over and it's an absolute mess, I'll just straight up turn it down because it's not worth the time that it'll take to fix it. Like I had it recently with a VR project where the client they built an environment. Um, it was it was like 200 million polys with 200 4K textures. It wasn't optimized. It was designed to run on a 4090 with nanite and lumen for VR, some kind of experience. And then they wanted me to put it on the Vive Focus 3 so they could use the LBE system so they could do multiplayer. And I straight up I got the files and I ripped out so much of it that it didn't look anything like the original project. And I'm like, this is what you can have. And I'm like, I'm not working on it though. So I did explain to them, I'm not being like, I ripped it out and then send it back. I did rip it out, made an entire list of what was wrong with it. And then I told them how they could fix it with their developer. But the problem was the developer didn't speak fluent English. So it was a case of I was giving them notes and I felt like I was just getting brushed off. So it was a bit of a weird one. See if I can find it. See if I can find my notes on it. Um, I'm going to delete the name real quick. So you can see, I got a couple of screenshots, but you can't see what it was. But basically it was they were using deferred rendering, doesn't work on Vive Focus 3, volumetric height fog. There was so much wrong with it. This one environment was ripped from another asset pack, which I did ask them whether they knew that their developers had used content from a different store because they mentioned to me that they were paid to make it. So I explained that they've used models that were just not functional at all in any capacity. So I had to go through and write them a full list, being like Kitbash 3D, to just explain what was going on and how they had poor performance out of this already. Like I'm running this on a 4090 and it could barely run, but they wanted it on a Vive Focus 3. So I was like, it's just not gonna work. So if you see a project and it looks like you need to run, just straight up run. That's the only way I can put it, is just be careful with what you've got. And if you do need to say you can't do it, then it's often better to just straight up say that sooner than later. Not saying that you've got to say that, Galvanic, like we're just saying that in general to everybody watching. Like if you are doing freelance stuff or you're working on a project and you think it might be a bit too much for what you're doing, then you got to keep that in mind and kind of just go with it. But yeah, that just looks sad. Yeah, it was a pretty cool project, but it was nowhere near designed for doing it in mobile VR, like at all. But I also got the feeling that they wanted me to come on and basically take over the entire project to finish it. And if I remember correctly, I think they emailed me the day before their deadline and said, "We got this project. This is what it needs to do. We want it to do." And then I got them to send me the project, and they were so rushing me to get replies back that I was like, it's not going to work out because I can't give you the time that you very clearly want from me. But I'm pretty sure they wanted to scrap their other developer and then just give the entire project to me, it was like months worth of work they wanted really quickly, which is not the best situation to be in. Dissolve edge. Oh. Dissolve edge. I think that should be alright. That gives us enough wiggle room. I can always change it if I need to. Started mesh. Oh. 24.8. Okay. Let's try this and see if we can get it to work. Where's my Unreal plugin gone? What's going on with Blender today? This is the same project. I just opened it. Why do I not have... I've got Unreal open, project settings. Python is enabled. For this project, I got the guy who bought it to me as a college friend. I brought it as a guy, a college friend, and the pay is something I really need for getting these to get things to keep for the game, going for the game. So I was like, looks easy enough, and said yes. We'll keep that in mind for the next project to take up. Yeah, also like keep in mind like how much you're getting paid for the amount of time that you spend on it. Like if it starts going over and it starts becoming a case of you're not having enough for the amount of time you're putting into it, then feel free to tell them. It's still the same thing. If you can just keep them up to date, then it often works better. I have no idea where my freaking plugin's gone. I didn't change anything. What? Why have I lost a plugin? I haven't touched anything to do with... I can't even remember where I've got it in the files. Let me find my plugins. There we go. I realized I didn't change the settings. It's going to go to the wrong place. You don't have an object under export collection. Shouldn't need one under export collection. Not touching any of that. I have an option under export collection. I shouldn't have to export collection. I should just be able to put it into mesh. Please specify folder your project where your asset will be imported. I've done all of this. I said it'll take 2 weeks, and I think I might be able to get it working by the end of this week. This next week, not sure. Never say that. Never say it out loud. I can get it done by the end of this week. 3 weeks later, and you're still like pulling your hair out. It's the worst thing. I guess Sarah, let me stuff. This is my first time joining, so maybe I missed it. How do you account for scale when creating environments for VR and Blender? I can't figure it out. You basically block it out in Unreal. So I've been doing this enough to know that we wanted to work in meters. So Unreal works with meters, so it's a case of picking a size that works for you. So in this case, we have an 8 meter by 8 meter plane. And then I know that this texture tiles, I think it's 4 times. I might have changed it. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2048 texture is going to tile like 4 times in each direction. So it's quite a lot. But it's just a case of blocking it out in Unreal and then exporting it to Blender. You can actually do that. So if I select, I'll show you. So if I select all of my static meshes in the level, and then I can right click, and then we can go to, where are you? Or is it on this one? You used to be able to export it. Edit. Have they changed it in 5.5? I know what I can do is I can just use tools, merge actors, merge, let's find settings, generate line maps. No, pivot point at 0. I just do that to yes. Go to size, merge meshes, distance field, no. Replace source actor, no. I'm just gonna hit merge actor, and then I'll just put it in this file. There we go, and then I can right click, asset actions, and then export. So I can just pop this into, I'll do it in the Unreal files, and then I can delete it afterwards. And now I can go into file, import FBX. Oh, work, modular castle, went too far. Unreal files, there we go. And then now I've got an absolute horrific mess of a mesh, but I can use this as a scale. So I know how big it's going to be. So I can now take this mesh and then it's going to be the same size as one of these walls. So then I can kind of replace it, and I'm reducing the number of geometry down. So it's literally just a case of blocking it out and getting used to scale, but you've got to also make sure that you work in real world scale, because in VR that's what matters. Okay, let's get this friggin' mesh exported. Why is it not doing it? Normally I should be able to drop it into the meshes folder, pipeline, and then just export. Settings dialog, paths. We don't have animations. Let's just use game. Modular castle, meshes, that should be fine. Push assets. Raise error. What the hell is going on? Cool. Or could you use the U4 mannequin too, like doorways and stuff? You can. The mannequin's made to 6 foot, so you can actually bring that in. So you can kind of bring him in, and you can get an idea of how big that scale is going to be. So as long as you know, but you also need to keep into account like actual world units for how big they are. But yeah, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. It was the trick back in the day when they were making the original God of War. Still is. War. Environment breakdown. There's shots from the original game, or at least there was a video where PlayStation talked about it, and they had the character, they had Kratos like blocked out to do the heights. It's a really old PlayStation game. This one, documentary, I think. It might be this one. Here we go. So this is a cool resource if you haven't seen it. So they're blocking out and they're just keeping to the cubes, so each path. So you can imagine this is 1 meter by 1 meter cube. It might change based on the size of Kratos and what they're going with, but 3 meters, and then you can build the entire environment through that. Like, this is really old. Apparently this was updated 7 days ago, so good timing. But I'm pretty sure there's a shot in here where they have Kratos stood on his shoulders, which works as a really good example of how you can fix scale. You can also see their trim sheet. So they've got a trim sheet here, so you don't have to stick to a 2x2 texture, you can have a 2x4 or such and such. So 2048 by 4096 kind of thing. And you can go that way. So they can get more detail out of it. And there's a specific shot where they go into a room and they have Kratos like stood on his shoulders, which is what I'm trying to find. Where's it? I'm positive it's in here, specifically this video. Or it might be in the level design one, I might just be in the wrong one. But you can get a good idea of how they broke it down. Like, their topology is so good. I don't know which one it's in. Ah, right at the end. Here it is. So you can see that they've got it here, where one of these guys is one height of Kratos, and then they stack it on the shoulders so they know exactly how tall it is. And then they've got the characters all the way around. Don't know which ones I've got in here. I don't know if they've got the environment stuff in here. That's the same shot that they show in the other documentary. Might not be. But yeah, so you can see like doorways are the width of 2 characters, arm to arm. So they move around and then they touch each side and then they go in. So you know it's going to be 2 character widths wide. But it's going to highly depend on your game, honestly, and your blockout stage for what you're going to get done. Cool, thank you for that. It'll help me a lot. No worries. I need to figure out how to clip streams so I can make videos of these things. Because this one's been pretty good, to be fair. It's been a good stream so far. And I don't feel like I've done anything. More like a live session. Where did Blender go? Blender, let's open this. Slow. Open. Did Blender just crash on me? Have I got different versions of Blender installed? Is that what's the problem? I think that's what the problem is. I think I've just screwed it. Yep. Damn. That's why my plugin's not working. Well, at least we figured that out. Push. That's so bad. I'm gonna just delete that one. Oh, let's keep that there then. I need the plugin. I just grab it from here. Is it included with UE5? Files. What was that one? D drive. C drive. Work. Program files. Epic Games. 5.5. Engine. Extras. Tentacle sync. I'm good. Nope. We got 3ds Max scripts. It's really frustrating. But new Blender. Why is it such a pain in the ass? Cool. Wesley, that one I just tuned in. Sorry if it's not. What do you mean? No, there's a free one. There's a free Blender plugin, UE to Blender, or Blender to UE. It was called. Like I should just be able to get it from here. To download our new free add-ons, log into your Epic Games account and connect it with GitHub account. Then access the add-ons and documentation here. I just going to the wrong link. Blender tools. Send to UE. Okay, download. Just be able to download as a zip. And then we see if this works. Send to Unreal. There we go. That's the link I just shared. It didn't come through on the chat, so it might have popped in the Discord. Possibly. Thank you package. $2021. Oh, that's not available anymore. That's the original. There's a post on the page. There's a post on Patreon. Okay, we'll ignore that. Send to UE. Let's try this one. Pipeline. Edit preferences. Send to Unreal Engine. Pretty sure it's the same one that we just had. Why the hell am I getting traceback? Oh, for crying out loud. This is a right pain. You also need to enable some things in your. I know. Sorry, I know. I've got enable remote execution enabled. It was working fine yesterday, but it's because I've used the wrong version of Blender. When I double clicked it, it just opened the latest version. It's kind of screwed it up. So I've got two versions installed. The other one works fine. So if I load it from down here, this one works, but the other version doesn't. So if I load this up, what I might have to do is see if I can just export everything. File. Purge unused data. Clean up. Export. I could export it as FBX. Revert to the save file. Nope. Because if I try and open the file in this version, it just breaks. I can't even see it now. Blender files, it should be in there. Did I save that instead of opening it? That is not the right level. Right. Okay, where's chat gone? Definitely the wrong one. D drive, work. What's the castle? It's just gonna crash again. Yep. I remember having issues with Blender 4.2 and how to use a 4. I don't want to deal with I don't want to deal with that. I just want to. Why can't I don't even understand what the problem is. File, boundary blender script, operators, line 71 in model raised. Like the whole plugin's bust. I can do it manually, it just takes way longer. Oh, I don't want to put FBX files in there. I need to get this sorted, otherwise I can't do anything properly. Let's do. I can uninstall it and then try and install it again. Nope. What's the latest version of Blender? Let's just try this. We'll see if the plugin works with this one and then we'll go from there. Shouldn't take too long. So while we wait for this, how's everybody doing? We got quite a few people in the stream, which is quite nice. Keep an eye on chat. Oh. Let me post the link here for this, otherwise it's going to bug me. Um, uh, Mm. Um, I had a pinned post on Patreon that I'm trying to find for this user here. think. Search for it this way. Ba, 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 ba. Why can't I find the post? Um, Public. Sorry, guys, just give me a second to find this. Um, is this it? Link. Uh, Sorry about that. I had to find it, otherwise it was gonna bug me. Okay, let's see if we can get this working. We just need to open it up. Install. Install a new build so we start getting stuff into Unreal, and then we can go from there. I'm going to just use Blender. Oh, cool. I keep looking at this and I keep wondering whether I should just build it bigger. Finish. Okay, move that one there. Blender 4.3. Let's open it up. Post the link in the general chat. Cool, thank you. We'll take a look. Hopefully it does. Space action, search tool. Cool, that should be fine. Edit, preferences. I think it's just add-ons, isn't it? Install from disk, downloads, send to UE, install, send to UE is installed, which should be fine. So now we can go to settings. We need to make sure that our mesh folder, animation, we don't need animation, so I'm just going to leave that as it is. Groom folder as well, we're not going to be using that. And then our mesh folder is here. Remember the slash. You don't have any objects in the export collection folder. Cube, export, publish, export, push asset. Oh, sakes. Oh. Why? I just want to do some fucking modeling. Let's have a look at the fork. So what do I do with this one? Is this just a normal plugin? Okay, a newer build. Send to UE zip. Download. If this works, I'll be so happy. Thank you so much, Wesley. I'm saying thank you now because I'm crossing my fingers that's gonna work. Install. Downloads. Send to UE 2.6. Cannot import name, make remote from send UE. What? Oh, why? Am I doing something wrong? It's the same repo but maintained by the community. Restart Blender first after an install. Okay. I'm losing it, man. I'm genuinely losing it. I think that's the problem. I feel like every time I go to do some kind of modeling, something happens and it just goes wrong. At least when I'm coding in Unreal, I can actually fix it. I haven't touched Python in like 10 years. So I don't remember any of it. .6, did that work? Oh, okay. Pipeline, export, settings dialog. Is it gonna let me just use the same? Yeah, there we go. Ah. Okay. You don't have any objects in the export folder. I did. We got a cube. We got a cube! Oh, thank you so much, Wesley. That was more stressful than it needed to be. Oh, Thank you. I'm going to turn a light on so I can actually see. Cool. Saving out of date packages while I deleted that, so it's either going to crash or it'll work fine. There we go. Delete. Cool. Honestly, thank you so much for that. That was quite unnecessary. Open. Don't save it. So I need to make sure that I use the correct version of Blender now. So D drive work. There we go. And now I just take this into the export folder. I'll pop that in that one. So now, pipeline export push asset. We should get the wall in here, which is wicked, and it's going to be in here. And it should line up pretty well. There we go. Roughly. Works pretty well. What I could do is rotate like that, and then we got a different style. Don't know whether to make the corners larger again. So now I can have different meshes for different floors. Or I could just use the main blockout elements that we've got to just fill in different spaces, which would also work. Cool. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. I could also transform it and then mirror it. Oh. Boom. That's pretty cool. And then just because we don't have an interior, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to two-sided. There we go. That works pretty well. And then we know that these ones are smaller, so we can do another side now. We put something up here, which would work pretty well, like a column. And then we can start breaking it up a little bit. Which version of Blender am I in? Close the wrong one. There we go. Right. Fits in quite well. See, now we need one here. It has like doors built into it. So having one that comes with the door and then it comes out would work pretty well. Let's just delete that one. It's going to be overlapping, isn't it? Yeah. I wonder if I should just remove that corner. I'm tempted to remove the corners. Sloped roof down here, that could be pretty good. Either that or I take this whole bit and then I move it back slightly. I'm just going to delete those. There we go. Okay. I'm going to have to do this a bit more manually. Snap, vertex. There we go. Play around with it, see what we come up with. Because what I could do is actually build a corner piece. Kind of sits on there. What was that bottom bit? Whoa. What the hell's with that base? Distance. There we go. So now we get rid of the seam. Cool. And then we can actually build something in there. So we could do... I'm not going to worry about doing this perfect. I'm just going to play around. That's the fun of it. Grid. Do something like that. And then it could snap on. Where have we got? Results. I don't already have it actually. Ah, screw it. I'm gonna do it. So we've got SM underscore underscore by 8. I'll just do 8. Your pivot point's wrong. I need to snap that little thing. I think that might be alright. It's either I didn't change anything. There we go. Problem with this is I've got no idea what kind of style I'm going for. Even though we had a look. I should have just done the warehouse. It would have been a lot easier. That works. And then in Blender, this one can actually have the weighted normals. I need to keep telling myself that we're just focused on the blockout. And that's all we're going for. So we do that, and then we change this to... Where's normals? What's happening? Oh, I'm changing so many things. Shade smooth, just keep it on that. Add modifier, we want weighted normals. And then we can use that one. Cool. And then we get a nice curve effect. Doesn't look half bad. I don't know what style of castle we're going with. Actually, I might. Trying to figure out whether I should just do it that way. So pivot points in the center. And then bring it in. See if I hide everything else. Which would work fine. We want to be on a corner, so we can just delete. Come on. Add it in there. Why are we not adding it in? Okay. Sergeant 3D cursor, we've got that. What's happening? Oh, have I just been adding extra loops because it's on snap? Okay, I've got 10 minutes and then I'm going to have to pop to a meeting and then I'll be back afterwards for a bit. And we'll see what we can get done. Okay. Push assets. Comes out a bit further. But what I'm thinking is we can do some side pieces. Cube. See if we can block out some kind of style. Actually, what I might do is just use this one. What's going on there? Grid. Let's do it to like halfway. And then we're going to do it up a little bit. And then we're going to bring it back slightly. So something like that. Let's put it on the grid so it's one, which works quite nicely. And then we can actually have an incline with some tiles on it maybe. That comes off the edge here. And this could have some more windows in it. So we can do it that way. So set origin, 3D cursor. Sloped wall, 8 by, I think it's 4. We're on 8 by 5. Okay, slope wall, 8 by 5. Pop that there. Export, push. Do that and then change the grid to 50. And then I can actually bring that in. And it's still not going to pop around the corner, so we get the slope there, which is pretty good. I think that looks quite good. Okay, that should be fine. Oh, wrong button. I hit them. Cool. Okay. Right. That works pretty well. Cool. Okay. Might do a paint over once we got some blockout stuff done. That is not too bad. Looks less orange, that's for sure. I'm still think the shadows are upside down, which is really frustrating. That's pretty cool. Alright. I don't think this is going to work. I'll leave that for now. Alright guys, I've got to go for a meeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my camera and my microphone. And then once I'm done, I'll just come back. So it shouldn't be too bad. Let's go from there. Alright guys, I'll be back in a little bit. If anybody drops by and then asks where I am, if you can let them know, that'd be pretty great. Alright, bye guys. Okay, I am back. Very quick meeting. Very nice and quick. It always is. Cool. Welcome back. Thank you. It's always so nice when you can have meetings that are just like snap, snap, snap. This is what you need. This is what we want. This is what we can do, and then just go through it. Oh, so nice, especially for a Friday. Cool. Right. What's the time? 3:25. So we got about an hour to try and get some more stuff done. Mainly because we got to go get the little one from nursery. So we got this. I don't know whether to make these windows larger. Like make them long and thin. Do it like that. There we go. Why is my viewport gone so dodgy? Oh, I just pressed the wrong viewport. No. Don't crash. So, everybody's still awake? Or is everybody falling asleep at this point? Ah, there we go. Oh, now it pops over the top. Probably best to just leave it. I've got a feeling I'm going to redesign these windows multiple times anyway. Mainly for the fact that the type of place I want to go with, I think it's going to be something like this, but it's got larger windows. So I have the large round windows with a decorative brick around it. I think that would work quite nicely. Oh. Go to play badminton for an hour and 10, for an hour and 10 to 15. No worries, dude. I'll probably be finished the stream by the time we get back, if that's the case, which isn't too bad. Okay. I think we need to do like a sloped roof. Could. What I do is I'm going to do a plane. (24 by 24) grid snap, and then put that on the grid so it's actually snapped to it. Bring this along, bring this up, and then now we've got a mesh that we can use to do the actual corners. So this doesn't have to be exactly the same, so we can bring this out. I'm going to bring it out quite a bit to stop I think we're going to be an overdraw. Quad overdraw is probably more accurate. So this is going to go on the top as like a pointed roof, which I think would be fine. And then we're going to have some wood beams underneath this, or concrete that holds it up, which would be good. We can build that into this mesh, and we can use it as a design point to kind of go from there. So I need to figure out how to make this pointed. I need this bit level. We're going to do cube. Might be worth me just bringing this out to the meter point. Oh. Trying to figure out whether we're going to see it. Attach that to it. So we want to separate the selection. What I want to do is I want to move this in slightly. Bring that in, scale it in by... Why is it so big, the dimensions? I'm not going to worry about snapping this. What I'll do is I'll delete these faces. And then we'll go from there, and then I could actually just bevel this one. If I do Control-A, all transforms, and then set origin back to 3D origin to geometry. Do this one, and then we can actually bring this in here. And we can go from there. Cool. What I want to do is use an array modifier. So then do it on the Y. And then we want this every 3. How many do we need? We don't need a lot, so we could do 10 would work. Keep it low, which would be fine. And then we take this, a mirror, and then we want to mirror it to this object. And then I don't know if I can use, I want to mirror it on this side as well. That should be fine. I don't know how to mirror it down this side, like on an angle. I also don't want to ruin this mirror. I want to kind of join it, but I don't want to remove the array modifiers. Otherwise, I'm going to lose where it's at. Shift D. Minus 90. Snap. 3. cool. And then we snap this back. Be fine. Wireframe, and then we want it about. That one's on the grid. That's on the grid. This one's slightly off the grid. So, why is it slightly off the grid? Pivot points, maybe. That's going to move it down, isn't it? Yep. Screw it. I can't be bothered to deal with it. So let's just align it like so. Now we've got an area we can cut across. And let's take this guy. If it's going to allow me to extrude it up. Which would be cool. We got to remember that we're not going to be able to see this from up close anyway. So it should be fine like that. So it's going to be the under part. And then got to figure out how to turn this into a point. We're going to extrude it. And then, oh, I shouldn't have done the chamfer. That's going to make it a pain. What I could do is inset and then merge by distance. There we go. So we merge that by distance. We've got it here, and then we can then bring that up and extrude it. Scale it in. And also merge that by distance. Center. Should keep it pretty good. Snap it to there. Now what we can do is we can cut in some stuff like a rooftop. Actually, we just build that on. We don't need to worry about cutting that in just yet. Export. Oh. Oh, I'm gonna have to merge these. I don't want to. I don't want to merge them. I might have to. Actually. It's a shame I can't just build it out like this, but it's not going to do it. I need to merge these with that one. Yep. Can we do just apply all? Why does it remove that bit? I added the modifiers. I thought I did anyway. Apply. Okay, so it doesn't do it for both of them. There we go. Looks quite good. And then do another roof. So actually, what I'll do is I'll leave. Actually, yeah, I'm not going on top of the roof, so I'm not going to care about it. I'm going to take this one and then do a shorter roof. Let's bring that down slightly. And then also what I could do is like try to bring it across. So it's like that. Oh, I think that's going to be a bit too much. So what I might do is take this one. And then I could move this over. Let's do vertex snap, so snap that into there. I'm hoping that I don't actually need to worry about this lip. It will just slot into the building. And then it should look a bit better. To export, push assets. Cool. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. It's simple. There we go. Wingman, I dropped by to say hi, but been dealing with hand rigging shit for 4 days straight in Blender, and finally did clean. So more of this UI I'm gonna throw up. Left a like. No worries. Honestly, Blender sometimes can be a nightmare, especially with animations and rigging. Cool. Damn, get well soon, bro. Yeah. I might just delete this whole tower. And there we go. think there's faces hiding in here. Maybe not. So that's not too bad. I could do with flipping this one and then maybe bringing it around here like that. Oh, that's not gonna work. There we go. Doesn't look too bad. That looks a bit dodgy. That roof. Probably just create a new sloped one that comes up. Trying to figure out how I fix this. I could move the whole tower backwards. That would be the easiest fix. Look at that. Super duper easy. And then we could take this tower. Take all of this. And then we just take that side, we flip it, transform on the Y, or we do transform on the X. And then it could come out like so, but it looks more like a house. So what do we have? Something like that. That's a bit of shape to it. Could even do something like that. Oh, I've got a really itchy ear. Oh. There we go. All right. Put some music on for myself. If we play this as though we come through this door and we can't see the back of the building, which is going to be the case really, then we're absolutely fine. We can move these around and do different things with them. Split up the silhouette. Might keep that one there. The rooftop's a bit dodgy on that. There we go. So I'm just going to line up. Make sure we're not clipping the roof. Or if we are, it's very slight. I wonder if I could just do... That looks pretty sweet. Definitely breaks it up a lot. Problem is going to be the outside wall. I think these meshes need to be increased as well on their size, so we have a lot more going on with it. So we don't have to worry about going inside. I wonder if we could just do that 45. I don't think it's gonna be snapped like that. And then possibly use this bit to cover it up. I should have kept it as one model. Ooh. There we go. And then we can have something like this wall. Let's just move this. So we're kind of going off grid, which is probably going to cause a bunch of problems. But the idea is that we can play around with it to come up with a new idea for how it's going to work. Looks pretty cool. Imagine rocks up here. So build it into the mountain. Then we definitely need to make these way larger. So many meshes. Okay. There we go. And then we can make the courtyard way bigger. Oh, that's the skylight. We don't want to move that. And then bring this out. And because we're on mobile, this could be a level stream. So you come down through the bridge. We could cut off this bit. Something like that. Let's do that one. And then doesn't look too bad. I don't know whether I'm trying to convince myself or if it actually looks pretty good. But for a blockout. Did that bit pop at the top? I don't know why that bit pops out the top. Okay. Okay. Oh, we're way off. There we go. That's better. And then bring this down. I don't even think we need this bit down here because the player's not going to see it. We need to do the bottom one with the doors and everything built into it. This can stay really. We just need to do a better topping for it, which would be fine. What I'm curious to see is whether, because I haven't done anything with light maps, to whether they work. There we go. I'm going to do a light build, but I've got a feeling it's going to absolutely break it. Unless we get really lucky. Let's do these ones. There we go. Cool. And then could just do it like that, and then I have no idea if this is going to work. It's a bit large anyway. It would probably have to be scaled down. Let's do... Oh, I'm mirroring it anyway. 180. The joys of not being able to see inside. Let's do it. Like that. That was looking pretty sick. Main door, that would look pretty cool. With a whole bunch of custom props in here, we'll probably be looking at something pretty wicked. Let's go to fab. I haven't unwrapped the tiles on the roof. I'd probably add some more details to that, so we'll leave that one for now. We just want designs. I kind of want some wooden balconies going around this. I think it'd be pretty cool. Then you put a corner on that side. That's why it's offset. Cool. I'm not too sure whether I can see this back corner, but I already got the lip on it, so that's fine. Okay, file, save all. Let's try it. I've got a feeling it's gonna be pretty bad. Because I don't know how the light maps have been built automatically with Unreal. Six light mass. Volumetric light mass. Use ambient occlusion as AO mask, material mask. We can use that to drive some stuff, which I don't think I've shown you guys. I think this would be pretty cool. Okay, so visualize ambient occlusion mask. That's fine. This we'll just keep it on default for now. So we do build lighting only. Even if it goes wrong, I could still use the AO mask to show you guys something. So for everybody that's still hanging out in here, you got something to watch, which I think will be a good one. Okay, Discord. Okay, build lighting is going to update in just a second, and then everything's going to go wrong. It always does. Let's cross our fingers. I just realized there's a hole in the wall there. Oh! Light maps are overlapping. Oh! That's not too bad though. Actually, it's pretty good. Uh, 100 should be fine. Directional light. Let's just put it back on 5. Static would be helpful. Stationary. Build all levels. It is building, it's just behind my head. It goes pretty fast, so it's don't have to worry about that too much. Okay. Ooh. Ouch. Oh, it didn't actually create a light map. We also don't have distance fields, which is a bit of a weird one. We don't need them. But I wonder if export settings dialog, export geometry face. Generate light map UVs. Take that to true. Generate. Okay, let's take everything and put that back through. There we go. So we set this up to do light maps. It should actually create them for us. Where is the... Where did my editor just go? That was weird. Surprised it hasn't added a light map. Oh, it's a bit frustrating. Okay. I can sort that all out. Stationary. What we can do is actually jump into BR because we haven't done that yet. So let's jump in and take a look. Cool. Connected. Cool. Oh, I got clip it. That's pretty cool. It doesn't look too bad. I feel like the back tower needs to be moved over slightly. We definitely need some doors cut into it. Oh, I know we just crashed. It was my headset. Weird. What was that? Wire. Oh, let's put my phone on charge. Uh, okay. There we go. So, how many we got? Still got people in here? It's been a bit quiet. Everybody's chilling. It's because it's getting to the end of the day. It's 4 o'clock on a Friday, and everyone's like, "I'm just done." I don't remember what the tessellation thing is for Blender. Nope. Quite happy with this. I don't like that back tower. it just looks a little weird. Might have to keep it as it is though. That breaks it up a bit better. Build it, that's fine. By minus 60. That should be okay. Realize we're not snapping to the grid again, so we got to make sure that lines up. There we go. So we got the grid. This could be a wall, so we could do keep it 8 by 8, and then we have a cover top for it. Should be fine. 16 by 4 by 8. Let's do it that way. And I realized we should have rotated it 90, just so it comes in on the same axis as everything else. Pipeline, export, push assets. I forgot I'm doing all of them, so it should be pretty quick. Asset, we want the wall. Right. Go. Why is it off by 1? Whole thing seems to be off by 1, or at least the floor is. If I go over here, will I fall through it? Nope. Let's keep it outside of the thing. We can have a corner piece, which is probably going to be a bit more accurate. Maybe. I put that on the floor, haven't I? Yeah. That's why it was a bit weird. Should be fine. I could just cheat. I don't know if I want it to be. I could do some custom corner pieces. So it's not so straight. Because that just looks weird. Might leave that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do cube. Let's turn off this. Should be okay. We go up to there. And then we take all the cubes. Make sure we've got them all. No, we don't. We got this little guy down here. Tools. Merge actors. Just hit merge. Then we'll do modular castle meshes. Ah, pivot point's way off. Okay. Tools, merge actor. Blockouts. Save. Yes. There we go. And then we've got a blockout that we can use. we go. We've got some rough models we can actually move around. Do it about there. Maybe a bit more sloped. Does not have to be perfect. We just need to mix it up a little. Ooh. Wait. Oh, sweet. So, not looking too bad. If we take this and then we build up the rock wall behind it, should work quite well. Cool. Oh, on my back. Cool. We go. Cool. Why? What is going on? My screen's just black. I'll unplug it and then see if we can get it to work. Cool. The scale is pretty cool. Well, like Resident Evil style. MSAA feels wrong, like shadow quality. And then can't get in. Cool. Nice. I don't want to do too much with this because we don't really need to. But I feel like being able to see the scale and the height adds quite a bit. This would normally be just terrain, but I know I'm not going to be using terrain, so we don't really need to worry about that. It's a big bridge. And there we go. I'm not going to worry about that end. Ideally, there'll be like a fog card there or something, so we can't actually see past that, which would work pretty well. Wait there, what I could do. Not too sure whether the depth node is supported on here. Density, depth, rate, distance. Oh. I'm just making this up, by the way. Apply. Overlap. Surprising what you can do with noise. Come on. Okay, so it's this. Why is it going so slow? I don't need substrate for this project. Opacity, surface. Don't know why it's so dark. Just put it on the other monitor for now. Okay, that worked. Okay. And then, oh, we don't have distance fields on any of it. Distance field subtract. Add that, I think. Actually, I'll leave it like it is for now. So, delete the sphere. We're going to do blueprints, character money. Then in here, what we're going to do is we're going to add a sphere to the camera. Actually, we'll do it to the capsule component. Do the sphere. Hello. Oh, right.
We need to do sooner rather than later because I have the feeling more parents were picked up early today.
Okay. All right. I'll get ready to go. Okay. Fog. What do I call it? Depth fog. There we go. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to leave it there so that I can go get a daughter because we've kind of forgot about it. So the idea is that we've got some rolling fog on here. It's kind of moving with the player, and then as we walk up to it, we can see it pretty much bring out the castle, and then we can bring it into view based on the distance that we want, which looks pretty cool. It's pretty sweet. Cool. All right, guys, I think that's a good place to leave it. So we're going to leave it there. I'm going to say save all, and I will see you all later on. Bye.